What's going on, baby? What's a cooking? I'm going to make some bread to accompany the meal that I'm making this evening. In here I have some warm water. It's not hot, but it's not cool. It's warm. Some active dry yeast. I'm sorry, I'm not giving the proportions. I still am not the best at knowing how to make bread, but I try. And yeast is a living organism, and it likes to eat just like you and I like to eat. So what do? I give him some food. A little bit of sugar. Just a little. Just a snack for the yeast. And I stir it up a little bit. And I'll let this sit for about 6 minutes, 5-6 minutes, and it will become frothy. The yeast will become alive, and when they eat the sugar, of course, it goes through their digestive system and comes out as gas, and then the little bubbles on top, that's what you'll see. Just a few little bubbles on top, and now I keep my flour and sugar in airtight containers to keep insects out. I put in, it was about a third cup of warm water and probably a good tablespoon and a half of yeast, or a tablespoon of yeast at least. I'm just making a tiny loaf. I put in a little bit of flour. Going to make kind of a doughy goo. See, like a doughy goo. Into this I'll sprinkle some salt. And just probably a little tiny bit of olive oil. Gives it room to move around and rise. Okay, now what I'll do now is put it on top of my little toaster oven because my wall oven doesn't work and the toaster oven on top is kind of warm. And it will form a lot of bubbly bubbles within, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, 15. But this is to be put in a warm place. And when it bubbles and gets frothy looking on the top, then I'll make it to the consistency that I want it for bread. Put it in the pan, and then we'll let it rise a little more and then bake it. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes and it's kind of spongy looking. Now I'm going to add more flour until I have it bread dough consistency and make it into a loaf, and I'll let it rise a little, then I'll bake it. Okie doke. I forgot if I put salt in here or not. I think I did. And you use the best kitchen utensils that you have, your hands. I do it in the bowl. You can do it all in the bowl if you have a big bowl and a little bread, but you can also do it on the countertop, which I will take out of the bowl in a moment. Okie doke. I guess okie doke's the word of the day. Fold it over, push. Fold it over, push. I turn it, fold it over, push, fold it over, push. You want to do this, you'll incorporate a lot of the flour into this, and it's like inviting the yeast to a party and they get drunk and they don't know what's happening to them. It's like being on a roller coaster ride for the yeast, and they're like, whoa, whoa, I don't know what's going on. Roller coaster ride for yeast. You do this too much, the bread starts feeling tough. You don't want to overdo it. But if you do it enough, then you can bring it up like this and start to stretch it. Not quite enough because, I don't know if you can see this. It looks kind of rough. You want to do this until it's smooth looking, elastic. Regular bread. Gluten-free or less gluten, you don't want to do that. The more you do this, the more you work the strands of gluten, the more smooth the bread will become. This is good therapy for someone to work out mild aggressions. Oh, well, let's see. Pizza makers do this too. You put your fingers in the back and stretch it this way. See, it still looks like it's tearing. So it needs a minute or two to rest. I'm going to let this rest on here just about 2 minutes. And then we'll come back 2-3 minutes and we'll do some more kneading. It needs to rest. Got the yeast all stirred up. They don't know what's going on. They're going home to their families going, what's going on? So by the time they reach their house to ask what's going on, we'll disturb their world a little more. Some olives and some peanut while I'm waiting. Still waiting. Probably been about 8 to 10 minutes. I let it sit here and it's gotten larger. It's gotten puffier. And it's a lot smoother. Because now I can stretch it a little bit more and it doesn't seem to form that tearing look. Remind you of anything? When I was in the Middle East, went into a store. The showcase had a whole lot of balls that looked like this. They were about half this size though, in the case. And I thought they were mushrooms, you know, like button mushrooms, tops of mushrooms. They were all glistening and in a row in this case. And I was looking and looking, and the person said, may I help you? I said, are these mushrooms? No, they were sheep's gonads. Oh no, don't put your mind there. Okay. Put it in this little pan. You can put it on a plain baking sheet or whatever. I am taking some olive oil and brushing it on the top to make it supple so it can stretch to rise some more. Not only that, darn it, where's my knife? Okie doke. Cutting some slits in the top. It'll help rise. Put some more oil on it there. Something I like on bread sesame seeds. I like the taste. There's certain things that I really, really like that grow in the Mediterranean and are plentiful there. Maybe I should move there. Add a little more salt on top. I like that salty, crunchy crust that you get. When I was a kid, Grandma would give me a piece of bread. I'd chew the bread and save the crust. When I walked to school, I could chew on it. You'd gnaw on it if you got hungry. Now I'm going to put this on top of my little toaster oven. Probably, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. And it should rise a bit, and then I'll pop it in the toaster oven for probably about 15 minutes. No, Thrall, this is not for you. Sorry. Okay, this is swollen up. It's touching all the sides of the pan, so I'm going to put it in the little toaster oven, or, you know, you would put it in your oven. And we'll bake it now. Just came out of the little toaster oven. Tap it and it sounds hollow. So it's going to be, I'm anticipating a very yummy loaf of bread. The bread looks wonderful. Let's taste it, shall we? Sir, we sentence you to bread and water. Well, if I can have butter on the bread, that'd be great. That's going along with dinner. Tonight.